So today, guys, I'm speaking about Ethereum and speaking about how the next possible Ethereum explosion, which I'm seeing coming very soon, how it will possibly take the altcoins with it. I want to focus a lot around this, as ETH has been the sleeping giant throughout the whole year. And I have a few indicators and a few things to show you guys on Ethereum on why I think there's a massive Ethereum catch-up and explosion incoming at any single moment. Plus, what I do think it's going to do too is I'm seeing a very important weekly higher low coming on the Bitcoin dominance. And the big reason is we've had a rampage in dominance the whole year whenever Bitcoin's been bullish. And because we've had a lagging Ethereum and Ethereum not really outperforming Bitcoin much this year, more or less going flat, we haven't really had that strong surge down within the dominance. Now, we saw a little glimpse of this that happened in January, where we saw things like Phantom go from 20 cents to 65 cents. We saw Render fly into a 5x. We saw a lot of these altcoins actually do insane gains. And that was when we had Ethereum on our team. Remember when we hit $2,000 this year, it was having the Big Daddy token. Now, a lot of people have been speaking about or ignoring ETH at the moment, not knowing that there's been a lot of whales accumulating ETH. And we've been secretly starting to form some very important bullish divergences and break off trends and retests. I want to show you guys where we're at right now and why I think there's a massive ETH explosion coming. And I'm going to give you guys 3 major indicators. Plus, I'm going to give you guys a few altcoin calls, altcoins that I'm seeing strength within at the moment. I'm going to give you updates on my current trades and if I think that Bitcoin's going to bounce from here, as I do see some shorter time frame bullish divergence. And I think in the next 24 hours, we might actually get a bounce within the markets or at least a massive move and an increase in volume. Guys, no more wasting time. It is Tuesday. Time to bring the alpha. Let's hit it, baby. Should we do Get Out of Bed or should we do Sheldon's song? Get Out of Bed, Sheldon's song. Which one should we do? Which one? Let's get out of bed.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
You guys can see we're starting to play a little bit of bull market song vibes. We're being positive, we're being strong, we're making sure that we are prepared, and we know what this market gets like. We actually still in crypto today because of the feeling that we got 2 years ago. So I want to bring some bull market and positivity to the market today. Guys, quick question, pop in the comments today, up or down? Next 24 hours, market goes up, market goes down. Give me know your thoughts. And say what's up in the comments. Remember, if you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We got let's go. Let's say get up. We'll speak about this. You say this is not bullish divergence. We shall see. Let me show the analysis, and then you can give your opinions from there. Just in time for the song. Up, up, up. Oh, a lot of ups. Okay. Then we got Yusuf that says down. Same level. You're predicting the boringness. We might have a high possibility of that. Up, Sheldon. Let's see. Up, up, up. We got down. So a lot of people are saying up. Come on, bulls. Come on. It looks like it's just the bulls remaining. I think the bears are hiding more boringness. Guys, I think this is going to change. I'm going to show you guys that we're starting to see a massive decrease in volume. And what's going to happen is you're going to get a volume spike that comes out of nowhere at any single moment. So we're going to go through a lot as well, guys. Just over in the chat as well, pop the coins that you would like for me to chat on later within the show. I'm here for you guys. I want to give you guys I did actually a poll yesterday, and I'll show you guys quickly. Before we jump into the alpha and everything else, I did a poll yesterday and I said, guys, what's your favorite sniper shows? And I want you guys to also pop this in the chat now. I said, do you like the educational shows? Do you like the live tradings? And then we got loads of altcoins, and that came in at number 1 of 34% of loads of altcoins. We had second place live trading shows and 28 educational shows. So I think for me, I take the data here. I'm going to bring back a lot of calls. Now, guys, Am I taking every single one of these calls? Some of them, yes. I've been very open of the positions that I have at the moment. I am driving a Doge $200,000 long. I do have another $120,000 Solana position, which I can show you guys over here. There is my sole position at the moment, which is $125,000, just sitting right under my entry there on the 4 and on the daily chart over there. I got the 80,000 other Doge position over here as well. But you guys wanted tons of calls and updates on charts. So I think I'm going to bring a lot of that back into it. And then when the markets are pumping, we'll do some nice, strong live trading sessions together. And then as well as the educational shows, which you'll probably see a lot on the weekend, just preparing you and giving every single tool that you need. Now, remember, if you want to jump that and you want to get a lot more smarter, go below and register for Sniper School. Come join. That's going to give you all the tools that you need, the foundation that you can build on top of. And then what we do have as well, guys, is at the end of this month, in the next 5 days, we have the BitGet competition starting, and we have a Sheldon and Dylan team. Dylan, tell the people why they must join our team.
Right. We're the best. What do you mean? You're not going to get better entries. You're not going to get better entries anywhere.
Amazing. So we got Dill, guys. He's got his show as well. Go to Banter Plus, subscribe to that channel, as Dill's giving calls there every single day. Okay. Let's jump in. I'm going to give you guys my reasons of why I think Ethereum is looking really good. So what I did this morning is I was just going through a little bit of the higher time frames, and I'm like, we haven't spoken about or even thought about Ethereum for a while. So let's go look at the data and let's go see what's happening. Now, the first big thing you want to pay attention to over here is you want to see the stochastic RSI on the weekly dragging at the bottom. Okay. And what you always want to do is you want to know that history never repeats itself, but it always rhymes. Right. So you want to go look at these indicators and you want to go see, what we've done previously, the times that we've dragged at the bottom, and you want to go see what price has done, guys. And if you get into the habit of doing this, you're always going to have a good understanding of that token and at least have some sort of preparation, right? You're going to understand that, whoa, when this token does this a few times, it usually does this. And what it's going to tend to do is it's going to start putting you ahead of the rest because you're looking at what it's done previously. And, why does Mama Sniper always get really good at theta? Because theta, she studied for so long, she knows when we're on a 3-day chart and the stochastics at the bottom, it's always been the best time. Not the 1 day, not the weekly, the 3-day. Whenever this MA gets crossed, this is when it does well. And she started to study the token. And that's what you always want to see. So the first thing I saw here was the dragging stochastic RSI. And again, the weekly for me in the stochastic RSI is one of the most strongest signals to say that we are getting to the area of where a reversal is coming and the other team is going to try attempt, right? And you could see many times before that we've probably had throughout this year. We had one in June where we had ETH come down to around 1,600. And then when the RSI made its way up, we ended up getting to 1,900. And you see the time before that, we had ETH at 1,100. After that, RSIs went up. We went all the way to $2,000. And you can see the time before that, when we were at the bottom, ETH was $1,000, went all the way to $2,000. So again, it's one of the most powerful indicators giving you the areas. And then what you want to see is where are we at the chart right now and what backs this? So the first big signal is this is dragging. And I actually love finding a token when it drags. You could see over here as well at this time over here with ETH. Look at when we drag. Look at the result that comes. It actually tends to get really slowed down when we are having that drag at the bottom. And when we finally break out of that range to the upside, we actually usually get a big explosion and a nice strong push to the upside. So that was the first intriguing thing. The next thing I want to show you guys over here is I want to show you the RSI. And I want to show you guys how we had this trend that came down for a while. This trend started all the way from the regions of February 2021. So you're looking at around a 2.5-year trend to the downside. And we actually broke this the beginning of this year when we started that rally up, to the 2K area. And now what we're doing is a simple good retest. And we saw it in this area over here. The only difference this time was we had a COVID crash. Right? We had a massive manipulated, I wouldn't say manipulated move, but we had a massive fearful move that came out of nowhere. But nonetheless, when we had the breakouts, we had the COVID crash that came in quick, but after that went full bull, right? And what the thing is, it's actually crazy how the dates are very similar yet again of where we're at the moment to show that this is the retest point now. But what I also paid attention to over here was looking at this point over here being lower than this point over here. So whoever said that the divergence is not accurate, what I see over here is a lower low within RSI and a higher high within price by quite a bit. And for me, that is some sort of weekly divergence that is playing out. And the times before that we've seen things like that, usually indicates again that the eye is seeing one thing, but on the back end, something else is happening. Now, I showed you guys last week about the whales accumulating. We've had up to, $500 million in one day being accumulated off ETH. A lot of these things happening. Plus, psychological view on ETH as well is we've had the views of, people losing complete interest. No one even talking about ETH. And that's what you sort of want in a cycle, for something going really hyped in the bull market, coming down, going flat, being completely ignored, the same way that THORChain got ignored. Remember that? The same way that Nakamoto got ignored. Remember that? And all of a sudden, the token, and I'll show you here, this point over here, this coin is nothing. Nothing's happening. Nothing. Boom. All of a sudden comes to life, and all of a sudden you have a lot of interest. So psychological view as well, it was playing out perfect. But now let me show you the rest of what I'm seeing over here too. So the next big thing over here is we've had the momentum line of ETH. Okay, and you could see over here, we had the original low of $900. We had the higher low of 1,100. From that, we went to around 2,100. Now what we've done is we've come all the way back down to these areas over here. And we are still one of the only tokens this year that are still holding the original trend. Not even Bitcoin held this trend. Bitcoin was the original one throughout the year that was holding the bullish trend line. Now it's not the one holding. ETH is still the one holding. Secondly, what I love about this is you're starting to get the little bleed, the slow bleed, which I really love. I love it when a token comes down fast and then slowly bleeds like this, because what happens is you get one candle that comes out of nowhere and it absorbs all of that hard work that came through. This for me is indicating that there is interest in the zone of around 15 to 1400, but it's also indicating exhaustion from the bears that are trying to bring price down. When you start to see these candles where there's a fight, there's a wick, up and down, we're starting to get to a point where the one team is starting to get exhausted. Now, I want to bring you guys back to the Bitcoin chart and show you what exhaustion actually looks like. Look at this. This is bulls in play on Bitcoin, okay? And you can see over here, look, when bulls are intact and they're flying, it's all moving very strong in one direction. When all of a sudden you get to a price zone and a level, look at all the wicks that are formed over here. This is called exhaustion from the bulls. You're getting to a point now where they're getting exhausted of the buying pressure, and there's so much selling pressure here that's holding it that you tire it out, right? It's just, you just ran a whole marathon. And now you're at this next level to get through, but you just don't have air in your lungs anymore. You're tired, you're exhausted, and you need a cool down. And it forms all these wicks to the downside, showing you exhaustion. And what happened after that? This team, it started to reverse, and we started to make our way to the downside. Now what you're starting to see over here is the same thing on Bitcoin. You're getting to a level now where time is running out. Yes, this team is slightly in the lead at the moment, which is the bear team, right? They did make some progress on this big candle over here. But there is a slight amount of exhaustion that's happening over here. And it's basically TikTok for the bears. It's TikTok for them to either continue your move or strong reversal is coming. And that's because now the selling pressure is starting to die out. Everything that's getting sold is getting bought up. And eventually there's not much more selling pressure. You're tired, you're exhausted. So that's sort of what the team always waits for, right? Is the bulls are here and they're like, okay, maybe you do fight, and maybe we do go to lower points. We'll fight you here. Or we fight levels here. We wait till you're tired. We get the whole world to think that crypto's dead, get it really boring, all these sort of things. And that's when we hammer through. And those mornings where you just wake up and you see this massive candle come out of nowhere, it tends to usually come a lot of the times when the market is doing this. So for me, looking at this, ETH is, let's just bring up the drawings again. ETH is on my support trend. We have a slight bullish divergence on the weekly. We have a trend break and retest when it comes to the RSI. Plus, if you go over here and you take this leg from the bottom over here, this previous run that we had, right, which came from November 2022 all the way to April 2023 was the high, okay? And you take the Fibonacci, because end of the day, you want to see one thing. Doesn't matter time. It's about who's winning the race, which team is winning. And ultimately, that was the push up, and this so far is the push down. So what we always want to see is that, for me, is indicating something like this. It's indicating that this is the current move that we are in. So I want to pay attention to this, because if this holds a certain level and you have a lot of indicators that are getting down to the bottom, getting reset, remember, this is a cool-off stage, but I want to make sure that it's still very much in favor of one team. And if we hold this certain area over here, it indicates one thing, that this team is still the winning team. It's still the team that had more progress. And even though this team attempted, they never got where they needed to get. Now, where's where they need to get? Is there, right? Is actually ETH to get here. That's the only way we say that the bears have actually won with ETH. But as long as we hold these levels over here, there's very much an indication that a higher high is still in play. And this was a cool down stage for a reset for the next push to go to the upside. So what we usually do with that is when we see a leg like this, and weekly is going to be one of the most powerful. Guys, you need to always go back to history, and you always need to go back to the main indicators that work. And one of the best indicators you will always get out there is the Fibonacci golden zone. It will always be one of the best, and it's always been one of the highest rated because it works. It's numbers. It works on people's brains. It works on, it's just something that you can't explain, but works incredibly well. And that's okay sometimes. That's perfectly fine. So what you do is you take the Fibonacci from this bottom low over here to the top. And again, you have 618, which is known as the golden zone. Not only does 618 line up perfectly with our support trend line, it even lines up very near these MAs over here. Plus, you have RSI set at the bottom. You have divergences playing out. You have the break and retest of that trend in this point. The winning team, bro. Exactly, Zodiac. Exactly. So for me, again, this is a golden zone area over here. Now, if I had to take this into normal TA terms, I have literally 45 indicators saying that we are at a point of where there's a strong reversal. Plus, I have a higher time frame pattern playing out where it's actually indicating that this should be the play. That this from here is actually an attempt to get back to those higher areas. I think the next bounce on ETH and the next push to the upside, I'm seeing a reversal to Bitcoin. Now, I want to show you this over here. Firstly, we have the weekly Bollinger Band that we are sitting at the bottom right now. Secondly, guys, look how this has held incredibly well for the last year. Look at this. You basically have this massive flag that is getting built over here. And as much as we think ETH hasn't progressed this year, it's actually held incredibly well. It's held really strong. Now, for me, this is a line, if you see over here, that this is the support zone of this previous level over here that we've hit many times. Okay. And ultimately here now, looking at the smaller time frames, we're starting to break some sort of trends. We're starting to break trends with these tokens within the Ethereum to Bitcoin. And for me, this holds very likely to go back to the top areas over here. If not, finally, we do get through the major areas to push to the upside. So we actually have ETH to Bitcoin. And you can see today how ETH is slightly outperforming Bitcoin. And we can see that we're starting to get a few days now and a couple of I see we got many different tokens. We'll get to the tokens now, guys. The reason why I'm focusing a lot on ETH is because if you want if you want Moon River to move, let's actually see your tokens here. Let's see which ones they putting this over here. XRP. You want all these tokens to move? You need Ethereum. Ethereum is the one that's going to bring down the dominance, right? So ETH, Bitcoin looking good. And then over here, I want to show you one more thing here, which is the Ethereum dominance, which is still, look at this, massive push to the upside, been trending sideways for a while, but now it is at the point of on the 382. And it's indicating if we hold this is going to be one of your most favorite tools in a bull market. And I'm sure Dill will speak a lot about this later on within the show, is if a token moves in one direction and it holds a 382 level, usually indicate it's a very bullish token. And as long as it keeps holding 382, it's continuing to move in a very strong momentum to the upside. So here we are on 382 at the moment with the weekly stochastics at the bottom. See over there, there we go, dragging at the bottom, plus a retest of trend. So for me, not only is Ethereum going to outperform Bitcoin, it's going to also start to outperform altcoins. Now, what's good about that, guys, is I want to show you this important chart over here. And this chart over here is the Bitcoin dominance, something we've spoken about many times. What I like about it, firstly, is, guys, it hasn't got past this important moving average. And I want to show you guys this moving average over here, which is the 200 weekly moving average. Okay, look at this. We made our way to the upside and we hit it. Rejected. Now, guys, if there was ever going to be a shift in dominance where we're going to have this dominance rampage for a very long period of the upside, this is the indicator it needs to get above. This is one that the previous time we had the whole bull market and then we started the whole bear and we started this climb to the upside, all that it did was it went to this line, fought it for a while, and eventually, boom, full alt season again. Now what we did is we came through over here. Secondly, what I added in over here is I put in this trend line over here to see, guys, whoa, like, yes, we have a little bit of dominance momentum to the upside now. But what I'm seeing is if I see an ETH bounce within dominance, and I see an ETH explosion to the upside, and I see this dominance over here break this trend line, it's very likely that we're going to start a long momentum move possibly to the downside. And maybe we can get back to the areas of 44% and maybe even back lower to those points. The biggest reason why this has not been coming down this year is because ETH does hold a lot of the market cap when it comes to the altcoins. And the fact that we haven't had the king of alts, helping the altcoins is therefore why we haven't had a massive Cardano, Solana, any of these tokens. We haven't had huge runs through this year. We've had little pulses to show that they're still alive. But we haven't had this extreme push to the upside at any moment. And if we set this lower high in over here and we lose this trend, that for me is indicating ETH. So we want and we need ETH to have this momentum push. All these bullish indicators we're seeing, we want ETH to explode. And then we're going to finally start seeing a whole market cap move within altcoins. And that's been a big reason of why we haven't seen much happen this year. We need a king of alts to go up. Exactly. If you believe in ETH or not, it doesn't matter. End of the day, it's one that's going to help the dominance come to the downside. Now, quick updates on the Bitcoin chart before we jump into some altcoins. Is I spoke about yesterday that we want to see a reversal candle. So we did get a reversal candle. We actually got a green candle. So if you see over here, we came down and we actually hit a shorter time frame 618. And I said this is a very important for this play to play out. It was very important that we turned yesterday's candle from red into green, and we actually did that. Now it's the same thing for today. Now it is time for the bulls to start to make its way to the upside. So I want to see the same thing today. I want to see at least Bitcoin get above 26,400. And if so, we've actually had this little shakeout, which probably stopped out a lot of people in this little push over here. And this reversal push to the upside is still in play. So this candle over here goes green. You saw there's a little bit of volume yesterday. Then this is still in play for the bounce. And again, 27,500 is the bullish zone. What we're trying to ask ourselves now is, are we going to 25K? Are we going to 23? And as long as we still hold this area over here and we do turn green today, there's still a possibility that this was the bounce zone and we're going to go tempt that trend line yet again. And if this happens over here, and currently the dominance is to the downside, expect a strong push within Ethereum, probably a strong push still within Chainlink with a lot of the different tokens. And we'll speak about them now. So not much changing there at the moment within Bitcoin. But let's start jumping on the actual altcoin. So before I go into mine, let's get Dylan on and let Dylan go through his, and then I'll go through mine. Go.
How's it?
So guys, pop in the chat which alts you want us to go through.
Bit of a mixed bag here today I'm seeing at the moment. I've seen a couple of trend breaks on some of the old school alts like AVAX and Optimism, and then we've got a few looking a little bit bearish right now. So this is AVAX on the 4 hour that I've been watching today. If you're on the Banter Discord, you would have got your alarms when it pinged, when it broke through this area here. So look, it is something I'm watching. If things turn bullish on BTC, I'm looking at the 618 as a possible target. So maybe 9.2, just a short little move. I'm not looking for big stuff here. Any moves in this market we're getting now, we just try and grab what we can get. So yeah, I mean, if you want to be long on something like this, you're looking at stops under either this morning's candle or earlier yesterday at around 8.8, that sort of region. But it's really, this is a scalp play for me. I'm keeping a stop just under this guy at about 8.9. Optimism as well, interesting trend break. It was a hell of a steep trend break, this guy. If it does move up, I'm not getting too excited. If it does move up, I'm looking for a rejection here, 1.3, that sort of level. So there is an alarm there for you guys as well. You'll get a potential short zone if we do get some energy there, maybe a short on Optimism. And then Theta, I've been watching this one for a while. A little bit of action. I'm sure it's on your radar as well. We do have a trend break here and a retest. So just, it's a notable for me. I'm not in a position here yet, but it is something I'm keeping my eye on. But then I've got things like this, like render.
So we are long on ETH at the on Theta at the moment. Reason being is the trend break, but there was also that volume spike, and I'll actually add to yours. As you go, if I got the same one, I'll just quickly add my analysis to it too. There's the trend break on the weekly. Again, we hit the bottom range perfect, so where it bounced makes sense. And what I like about it was this volume bar. So this volume bar got the little spike through. And again, if we have a weekly close outside this trend, I do think it's Theta time. And the last time we had that breakthrough, we ended up making our way to 1.2. So will we go back to the crazy numbers? Not sure, but I do think there's a 50 to a 60% trade coming up for Theta. And right now it's about trading the strength. And this is one token that's got interest plus stochastic right there at the bottom, resetting to the upside. Yeah, I agree.
So Ether definitely sings from its own hymn sheet sometimes, so it doesn't always listen to what the rest of the market's doing. So yeah, I agree that thing can move, but definitely a good sign. I mean, this is a major trend that's broken. Something like Render, I'm feeling a little bit bearish. Bullish vibes for me. I'm looking for longs 1.44, that sort of area. It's just a 618 play. A little bit lower down, we've got the 200-day MA coming through quite nicely here for us. Might be a bounce on that trend as well. So for me, Render 1.44 down to 1.41, that sort of region could be a nice bounce play. Atom is in bear zone right now for me. So we had a nice little bounce, but into a rejection area. It's looking a little bit shorty. It's not tying in very nicely with this trend, unfortunately. It would have been nice to have them together. So we might still get a little move higher potentially. But I'm still feeling a little bit bearish on Atom unless things change drastically with BTC. Where we start moving up to your levels that you're talking about. We need to break that little trend we're looking at right now. Rune as well, just turning over a little bit.
I just want to add quickly, though. I just want to add. So I'm seeing this on Render. So I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I see the daily trend over here. I see the 50 MA weekly over here sitting as well. I do see possible higher high in play, and yeah, let's see. I think if it holds this, what was the targets for you there? I was looking at around the 1.4 exactly. Yeah. Exactly the same areas here.
To about 1.41. I quite like.
If the markets bounce here, that looks like a good zone. So keep eyes on that one. Cool.
Yeah. Look, and it's a 618, and we know how much we love that 618 for a bounce, especially these higher time frame 618. So I always like to get involved there. Rune, the way I'm playing Rune is we've had a 618 bounce here already. I'm tracking this trend or another visit to the 618. Whatever happens first, I'll look for a long type entry there. DYDX, I'm sitting in a short here. It moved into the second rejection zone that I was eyeing out yesterday, which pinged here. It's a 382, so it was just a reversal pump into a 382. So I'm playing the short game. If it breaks much higher than that, I'm out. GRT, I'm in a short on GRT currently. This was a typical sort of trend break, retest into a nice solid area. So for me, that was a trigger for what I look for a short. So I'm sitting in GRT. My exit will be any moves higher than that, I'll probably start jumping out. Then CRV, I wanted to update you guys on CRV. We finally got this move. We got a 39% move on the CRV. Do you remember we were talking about this thing a couple of weeks ago? We were identifying this area. Look at this massive weekly area. But look at the size of the pump we got here. We got a 40% move on CRV. So spot buyers there, they've done really well. Right now, it's looking like some kind of retracement coming on that one, so I wouldn't jump in now. That's the weekly. And then I've got an Injective. This is just an interesting one. Nice little bounce off a small time frame 618. Check this guy. So we've dipped into this area. We had a little reaction. I'm not sure if it's going to hold. We'll have to wait and see. But we did get that initial reaction down here at 6.8. So the bulls want this area to hold now, and we want to push up higher. And then this is my target area, the 618 up here, and maybe we'll go visit up there. We'll see how we go. But again, BTC is in charge here for us.
Amazing. So I'm going to keep you up here, though. Give you some of my views as well. So looking at AVAX at the moment. So AVAX have obviously know the points of interest of where we're at now on the weekly. We're at a crazy level. The fact that AVAX is sub 10 is crazy. But now zooming into it, right? Again, we got this mindset of, Bitcoin, it's there, but it still hasn't lost 25. And as long as it hasn't lost 25, there's still that bullish push at any moment. So it's about zooming in now. So I zoomed in over here on AVAX, and here's this daily trend that we actually have many good touches on. You can see the amount of touches that we have in play over here. And yesterday was actually a very good reversal green candle that formed over there. And now we're starting a green candle out over here. So this is usually the way when I'm trading, these are the things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a trend that has many different touches to the downside. I'm looking at the point of interest of where that is on the high time frame. We know that that's a good zone. And when I see a break a trend like this, usually, again, you have a slow bleed and you have a quick absorb, to the upside. So for me, the buying areas over here is the regions between 8.8 and around the $9 mark, and then just popping a stop under the previous low. This is the time for the token to perform. It's indicating there's a trend change coming up, which means it tends to higher highs and higher lows. We know that it's been bleeding for a long period of time, and we saw it with ThoughtChain. And these are my targets. So it's either a small quick pump, and that's maybe Bitcoin going to 27, which is my first target of $11. Then there's 12, and then there's 13. So there's 3 ranges of how big the bounce could possibly be. And again, we're just looking for strength. So I agree with the AVAX trade over here. Looks pretty good.
Very similar. Yeah.
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Same as BNB. So looking at BNB, looking at this trend over here, long trend, in play over here, very long trend coming all the way from the top. And, we had the little pop through, we held the trend, and now we're starting to show green again. So same thing. Stop loss under previous low. Risk is not that high at the moment. And it's either going to be a quick pump, which is maybe a 10, 12% pump, or it's going to be the real deal, end up having a 30% pump within this entry over here. So again, whenever my risk is low and I have a coin that has tested trends many, many, many different times over here, and we start to pop through, this is what I'm looking for. So again, BNB is one of them. And it's crazy when that dominance starts to show down, like, we're starting to get coins that were ignored for a while, starting to show, some strength.
It's funny, and sentiment can change so quickly. It can be 2 days of green, and we back
very fast, very fast. It's true, bro. It's very true. And then I have like, what's next? What comes next? So right now, I look at the AVAX, I look at AVAX, and I look at BNB, and I'm like, these are pretty good. And then I look at Matic, and I'm like, okay, this one's not breaking now, but if I'm in the BNB and AVAX for a week or two, and I start to make some money there, I need to have this alarm set here, because I could possibly shift from them to strength within Matic a little bit later. So if Matic keeps to go sideways here, and if it breaks us on later in the week or later next week, this is where I can move to next. And if I'm just moving to strength and I'm taking profits and moving to the next, exactly, Matic and FTM. So the way I'm starting to prep and strategize my brain at the moment is there's a few tokens that are showing strength right now. And if the market turns bullish, these are tokens that are going to perform. And then I have the next ones where it's like, whoa, I don't want to miss that one. And I was quite annoyed because I was sitting in the Doge and those ones, and I'm still sitting in them strong. And I had the alarm on Theta. I had it. I literally had it set. There's it there. It's been in for a while. I'm so glad it came back and retested those. So for me, this is ready. This is ready to be loading up. And I'm glad that it actually came back. But look at that. All of a sudden, you went from 59 cents to 71, 72 cents within one day. And that comes from these trend breaks. So if I know that there's another week or two within Matic and we hold those areas, I know where I'm shifting to next. And it's the same thing what you said about Phantom. Look at Phantom here. Firstly, we know the area is insane of where it's at. Secondly, it's coming and filling this wick over here. We originally, put in around 17, 18 cents. And now we have this wedge over here. And it's just popping its head, not through just yet, but it's showing me that this is one of the ones that I want to move to next. And ultimately, we pop our heads through here, you pop a stop under, and this should be the ride. This should be one. Again, it's either going to be a 20%, 10 to 20% move from the market, or it's going to be a big move where we end up 50, 60, 80%. And that's what you got to prepare for both when it comes to that. But nonetheless, focus on entry, reduce risk, then focus on the take profit points. I'll pop through a few of them over here. So I do want to quickly update. Look at this, Nakamoto looking ready to go again. Okay, so guys, I wouldn't, no entries there, but I definitely keep holding strong. Look at this. In the next few weeks, there's going to be a possible mad, crazy trade on NEAR. Look at that. A few more times, it may sit there, but this is one. Be ready. Put your alarms in. In 2 weeks from now, especially it can happen any moment now. But end of the day, have this alarm in because that's going to be a mega trade. It may even just ride to the main 618. And if you look at that of where we're at now, it's literally 100%. It's about looking at the opportunities. Don't forget about
Sol as well. We've got that Solana conference coming in November, and Sol.
I'm long, bro. This is why that's why I still have my position at the moment. I know we're at critical supports now, but for me, it's either this area now or we are fishing a lot lower. So for me, I've dipped in here. I'm loaded up to the max over here.
It's and just being patient. 19. Support till 19 or just below for me is Sol. I'm in Sol. If we get that pump into November,
guys, pop in the chats. Let's quickly see what is here. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's talk about the.
I want to show you some wild shit. We've got some wild. Okay, show us.
Oh, you got wild coins, huh?
Yeah, we do these live sessions every day, and some of the audience members come up with the strangest tokens that we chart for them. But fucking hell, some of them can move.
So guys, here's. Let me quickly look here. So just before we jump there, yes, Shibu. So I'm just going to go through some of them in the comments. It is in golden zone, guys. It has filled this wick and moving sideways. So this one, I'd focus on horizontals. I'd basically just take a line over here, Look at the highs. That's where the high is at the moment. And end of the day, that's where the low is. I'd probably wait for something like this. I think it looks good on support, but I'd probably wait for something like this to break through, get the retest, and then it can get going. And it's very likely it'll probably come to these major MAs over here. So it's not a breakout token right now. Not showing incredible amounts of strength. We did have XRP here too, and then we can jump into your wild tokens. There we go. So XRP again. It's in this wedge over here. I do have the downside targets of 40 cents and if not 35 cents if things go incredibly bearish. How about Bencoin? Oh, let's not even talk about, Ben Armstrong. Like, I don't know what's going on there. I really don't know what's going on there. I met him in Miami and I saw like things weren't, the guy was wearing sunglasses at like 12 o'clock at night in a very dark place. Yeah. So I don't know what was going on, but I did tell Ron, I'm like, I don't know. And the thing is, I was so happy when he started his channel and he started to like come to life again. You know what I mean? I thought things were really good. I was like, okay, cool. This guy's going to humble up, but now he's just going straight back. Yeah. Anyway, so XRP, it's in this wedge over here. Again, we lose the bottoms, which is probably around 48 cents. There's your targets, right? There's maybe some shorting opportunities. And then there's obviously the bullish side. This makes its way up and cracks through here. Guys, I think it's going to explode not as quick as this, but I do think the reverse will be pretty fast. And my target of that is around 70 cents. So this, I think as well, is going to be a great trade. The only thing is the wedge is saying that there's a little bit more time for now. It's basically indicating that it could do this for another few days. And then you can get the pop. So just put this in, pop those alarms in, and either line that we close daily outside of should be the direction that we start to move next. Let's see the next ones over here. No, I'm not going to talk about Hex. Sorry, guys.
PYR, that's a good one. Check out PYR.
Okay, I'll check that now. I want to see if has there been any change on Algo? Let's have a look. Not much has probably happened over there. Let's go see on Algo what's happening. Oof, slow bleed right at the bottom of this wick though. Look at that.
You can't get deeper than that.
You don't get much deeper than that. So right. Slight dollar cost. I definitely, me personally, I can't sell my token here. If I was in it strong, I do have some of it. Not selling over here. I'd wait for a pump. It's got a lot to make up for on the pump. Like this thing has to go at least back to 28, if not to 46 cents. So it has been a very disappointing token. For now, it's right at the bottom range. So if you want to slightly average your position better, but remember, it loses this. Who knows how far it can go. So I'll just give it a little bit of time. I don't think they're going anywhere. I do think the fundamentally still makes sense. Team strong. It just definitely needs some time. Someone speaking, what did you say? PYR. Again, guys, on this dip, I'm personally buying PYR for gaming. Look at this. It's like Chainlink. There's the same chart with Chainlink is basically the exact same thing that you can see over here. Look at that. When you find a token that just comes through and just, has this range at the bottom and has the range at the top, it sort of becomes slightly easier, to make money. And it's the same thing with PYR. You can look at it's basically replicating, the Chainlink chart. Look at this. And it's entering the low. So it is saying around $3, $2.60 is the DCA zone at the moment within PYR, and it tends to go back to the top range. So this might be a nice 100% range that you could trade for a while until eventually, one of them break, where either up here breaks through, or you do have the breakthrough like that. Like it's very simple with these tokens. Amazing. What else was the other one I saw here?
Arbitrum. I've seen Arb a few times. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go through Arb. We'll give you guys another 10 minutes, guys. Another 10 minutes. Let's go. Bring your altcoins. Let's speak. Let's go through them, see where they're at. So Arb, not much data. But what you can see about this is obviously a new token. What tends to happen is big explosion in the beginning, goes through a little bit of a bear sort of phase. And then what you have is the very important trend line. I actually like these major trends. So you could see over here, it's showing possibly another month, right? That we could either go more down or sideways. But eventually what will happen is we'll get through this trend again. And that's where you want to be in. So just make sure that you have this trend in play, and anywheres in these zones, if not slightly lower, is your accumulating time. I wouldn't, me personally, not be selling, especially when I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nearly 9 red candles in a row on the weekly on the downside. This gets absorbed very quickly when the market goes bull. But at least you've got a lower the time over here. So I'll take a bit of time and make sure that I'm ready by the time that trend break comes in. And then we'll see from there. These are obviously the targets, if not slightly higher. What else we got over there? Let's have a look.
I've got fetch for somebody. I see a lot of requests for fetch.
Okay, let's go for it.
So this is the fetch 4 hour. I'm waiting for this move lower. You can see we've lost the 200-week MA, we've lost the 200-day MA, we've lost the 50-day MA. This thing's clearly in the downtrend. So I'm just waiting for fetch to come drift a little bit lower. I'll probably have a go here as a potential long 0.2. That looks like an interesting area. You can see I've tied in the 618 here and some horizontals. So it looks like we'll get some kind of reaction there, and that might be a good starter entry for a possible trend break later on, that you can add to. So that's my plan for fetch. There's no long or short here now. It's just a little bit lower.
It's actually quite interesting to see how some tokens are still quite bearish, and then some are breaking some sort of trends. And I think that's trade the strength if there's a bounce. And then there's time to come to these when they're a little bit later on. Guys, remember, we want to jump back into giving tons of altcoins information and stuff like that. I'm not personally taking all of these trades, but that's why we do give you guys the stop losses. Make sure you protect yourself. That's it. Just manage your risk on everything that you do and manage the amount that you put into these tokens. But we don't want to, I've been speaking about the same tokens for a while, my same trades. Like, we want to bring alpha. We want to bring you guys all the different tokens out there and give you our views on them. Just take responsibility and look after them. If you don't know how to use that stuff, go do Sniper School.
Yeah, I mean, we can't take all the trades, but we can chart it. And if you don't know what's going on, go to Sniper School. Hang out with us. Sit in the live sessions. You'll see how we go about our things. This is XVS. I see somebody's asking a million questions about XVS. All I've got for XVS right now is a trend to track. There's not too much exciting stuff happening with regards to fibs and things. There is a 618 there, but it has kind of lost it. So if I were you, I'd wait for a break and a retest, maybe look for something like that. For now, we don't know that this is the bottom, so rather just let it play out a little bit longer. This is XVS 4 hour, guys.
I see dots at like a crazy level. Crazy. Just lost this recent supports over here, but now it's at these like crazy wicks from the start.
Is it still a project? Is there a team? It's
still a project. I remember when I started it, it was a coin that was like $40 or something, and then they broke it down. And then it was like $4 or $3 at the time. And it's crazy. This thing obviously rallied all the way up to 56. I still have dots in the portfolio. Pretty sad, but I don't know if they've been, doing what they've meant to be doing. And, it's very clear in the price at the moment. So again, if you're still a believer, this is probably an incredible place to DCA even if it goes lower, to get your average pretty good. I don't think DOT goes back to all-time high. I still think you can make money on the token. I still think there's a very big possibility, you can come back to these areas of 16, if not 20. And I probably wouldn't think much higher than that, unless they really start to actually, progress and actually make big shifts in the space. But I do think there's that money to be made at any moment. I'm not thinking, there's a lot of tokens that I'm not thinking to all-time highs. These are things like Cardano, Chainlink, things like that. Doesn't mean that there's not, if you look at where we're at now, doesn't mean that there's not a 300, 500% move to come and to still make money. It's just about, is it realistically going to go back to all-time highs? And if you're at a point where your entries are up over here, I'd work pretty hard to make sure that I get my entry slightly lower. So if it does go to 15, 20 bucks, you actually make money, which is important. So again, it's probably an incredible place to balance your portfolio. But I don't think it's the most bullish token for the next bull market. Or maybe wrong. We'll see. I just think it's better that you prepare yourself.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah, just prepare yourself for your token not to go back to all-time high. I think just get that into your mind, because who knows? It may just be a selective amount of alts. These will, not to say that they won't do well, but it's about, will they go to all-time high and break all-time high? That's a big one to look at. Gala. I think Gala is fundamentally still good. It has lost a very important support at the moment. So now what you basically got to do is, you don't have much support on the chart. So what you do have is that trend, and you just have to track that bad boy down until it does make some shifts. So right now, not looking too healthy. And I probably wouldn't add any more to this position until this trend is broken and we actually start to shift.
Yeah, I think
But
that
right
Gala
now,
trend will break when the developers sort out the issues. I believe they're fighting, or whatever the story is. There's like some internal situation there. So I wouldn't add here. I'd wait till there's news that it gets resolved, and then there'll be the squeeze of all squeezes, though.
yeah, that's the thing. If you can catch these ones, this is where you can really make a crazy cash. And I'm sure another one is Super. So let's have a look at Super over here. Again, also at that point of losing a possible very important support now, which basically comes, what do they say? Don't catch a falling knife, right? There's the trend. It's actually, they're very close. So I would keep an eye if the market turns bullish on Gala and Super Farm for some trades. I do think, because this thing's crazy, you can have a literal move that can be 100%, 200% in one day. But again, when this starts to get to higher levels again, when the bull comes, I don't think these tokens go back to all-time high for now. And again, they do not hold in bear markets at all. So, it's just another massive lesson for you in the bull of tokens that you have to get out to take profits, because they don't survive the bear. And I think it was a good lesson. Not to think that they won't go back up.
Falling rakes.
That's good. That's good.
It can be tough out there. It can be tough out there.
I want to see, someone said Aptos. I saw Aptos had like a pump 2 days ago.
Yeah, it did.
I can't believe that wick. It's pretty close. Pretty close. So I don't want to take the trend from the top, but I like this trend over here. Very close. So very close. The market goes bull. It should be one of the tokens. And if you want to see like on some TPs, bearish TPs, not even like super bullish, 618. So that can be a 200, 180%. So we'll keep eye on this. Let's put the alarm on this one, door for Discord.
Look, I'd rather go. Yeah, I'd rather go Aptos versus Dot. You know what I mean? It just
yes. Someone spoke about.
I want to show you
let's
some
see,
coins.
Rose.
I want to show you some.
Sure. Go.
There's this thing called Loom. I don't know what the hell it does. I don't know what it's about, but there were a few people talking about it in the chat on our sessions the other day, and we were trying to chart this thing, and it's taken off again. This is not a buyer signal, by the way, guys. Don't now buy this thing. I just want to show you a possible buy area. Look how this thing respects the 618 so nicely. Where you get a 618 bounce. So what I want to suggest to you guys is when this move turns over, when it starts falling back down, you got to find the top, and you want to pull a fib, and you want to get that 618. So wherever this top of this move is, we don't know where it is yet. If we assume that that's the top of the move, let it come drift down and see, maybe you get the 618 buy again. You can get a nice mega pump up there. So the secret is to finding the top, though. So let it play out, let it start drifting down, and then look for that 618 pull, because we're getting a nice 618 response here from a lot of these tokens. So yeah, definitely something to watch here, and it could tie in very nicely with this trend as well if you get that opportunity.
Amazing.
Don't know what the hell it is.
Got, bro?
I got STMX, also 786. This thing's loving the 786 here. So I've been tracking this one today. Again, this was just from somebody in the audience. So we charted this one yesterday for them. We were looking for this trend break, and we've got it now. It's pumped up. So I'm looking at this region here as a potential top for this move, and then I'm tracking this trend lower down. Ideally, I want to see where it lands on the 786 though. So I'm going to pull a fib, and I'm going to try and find the top, wherever that top might be, and I'm going to add the 786 here. And then that's ideally going to be a bounce area that I'm going to look for, just because we've done the 786 a couple of times already. So it could give us a nice reaction there.
Dol, I got a quick question for you. We'll give it like a few days. But 27 or 25, where does Bitcoin go first? What's your thoughts? 27,
then 20.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, really? Yeah. Is that your thoughts?
This is what I'm doing. This is how I track Bitcoin. I just look at it in this 4-hour range. I'm watching this trend. If it breaks this trend, I get excited for the alts. Ride the alts up to resistance, wherever that resistance might be. Probably their corresponding resistance. Try and get out. If we fake out up there, I reckon we're going to come down quite hard there. 27.5, I think. But we'll see. I'm really just playing this level by level. So right now we had resistance. You can see some of those alts at resistance. Maybe we come back down. If we break out, those alts are going to pop. Then we go to the next area. We play it over there, see what happens.
What's your thoughts on ETH? Do you agree what I'm seeing?
I've got an ETH chart that I did. I like, there's a 618 buried lower down, where I think we will get quite a big move. Look here. It's only 5% away. It's one little sneeze. It's one little sneeze away.
Yeah,
from
that's exactly it. Yeah.
This is the weekly. And I've got a 618 here tying into this trend, and I've got some horizontal. There's some weekly levels here where it's responded before. You know, could be nice. 1500, 1490. That could be the trigger. And then we get that mega move that we want. Look at the size of this thing. We could get this right up to there, 50%.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly. Maybe. Cool, Dill. Thank you so much, bro. Guys, go watch Dill's show in 3 hours on Banter Plus.
Yeah.
Banter Plus.
Later.
Cool. Amazing. Guys, remember, we've got Dill and Sheldon team on BitGet competition. That's starting in the next few days. So go below and join the team. If you want to open BitGet accounts, use our link below. You get discounts on trading fees and a deposit signing up bonus. Have a fantastic day. Below in the comments, pop all the tokens you want us to speak about tomorrow. Hit the like button, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love, Banter fam. James. James, what's your OnlyFans?
Private.
No OnlyFans.
It's very expensive, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Okay,
Okay, push it.
I'm pushing it.